So my name is Amelia, and today we have here...
Hi, I'm Cait.
And we're going to talk to Cait about her language learning history and strategy. So, Cait, will you first tell us a little bit about what languages you've learned and studied?
Sure. So I studied Spanish, and more recently I studied Portuguese. I was living in Brazil, and I had to learn Portuguese very quickly. So I had to use a lot of tricks to learn as quickly as I could.
Cool. Okay, so how do you go about practicing listening specifically? How do you develop your listening?
Ooh, that's a good question, because it's really hard to listen to a foreign language, right? It just sounds like a lot of noise sometimes. So what I started to do was I found some things that I liked to listen to. And there was a radio broadcast where people spoke pretty clearly, pretty slowly. So I would listen to that every day. And it also had the text. So I could listen and then read the text and understand a little better, and then listen one more time and say, oh, okay, that is what that is. Now I understand better.
Okay.
And I also found a telenovela that I really loved.
What was it called?
It was called A Grande Familia, the big family. And that's really good because you get to know the characters, and it was pretty obvious what was happening. So even if I couldn't catch what people were saying, I could put it together. Oh, okay, this is happening.
Okay.
This is happening. And it also helped me to see how people have conversations, you know?
Okay.
Hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good. So it gave me a good model for how people speak to each other in Portuguese. And also I found some music that I loved, and I found some little pieces. I would print the lyrics in Portuguese, and maybe even make notes like, oh, this sounds like this.
Okay.
And I would listen to it many times, many times, over and over again, and sing along with it, and until I got really comfortable. And that helped me with some sounds also.
Okay, that's great. It looks like we had similar strategies.
Yeah.
It's useful.
Yeah, it's really useful.
And fun. Great. So what about speaking? How would you prepare for speaking or practice speaking? What would you do?
Yeah, so the songs again helped a lot for speaking, because as I was practicing these little pieces of songs, I could work on some of the vowel sounds that are really hard in Portuguese.
Yeah, the
nasal.
Yeah.
Sound. So I could get used to making those sounds before I had to go out into the world and use them. And then for speaking, I would do my best to talk to everyone I could who spoke Portuguese. Even if it wasn't perfect, even if it was messy, to speak as much as possible.
Okay. And so this is related, but how would you approach sort of communication? Like your need to communicate or preparing for it?
Yeah, so my situation was a little different than yours, because I was surrounded by the language.
Okay.
So I didn't have to go and look for it, to look for a speaking group. So if I was going somewhere new, I would make sure that I knew some important phrases or some words. For example, if I was going to a pizzeria, I would make sure I knew how to ask for things that I wanted to order, that I knew the names for the vegetables, things like that. So I would have everything prepared beforehand, so that when I was talking, I knew what I wanted to say. And just like you did, like you were saying, I also was prepared to say, I don't understand. Or, can you speak more more slowly? Você pode falar mais devagar? Can you please speak more slowly? So that was really helpful. And another thing that really helped with communication, you were talking about the beginning and the end, but also to keep the conversation going in the middle.
Okay. Yeah.
I learned a lot of things similar to
All right.
A lot of things we're probably
Yeah, like in order to,
doing now to tell the person that you are interested and you want them to keep talking. So in Portuguese, it's things like tá, like okay, like tá bom, it's good. So I learned a lot of those little fillers so I could participate even if I wasn't sure how to respond, you know. In English, it would be like, oh, cool.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Exactly. And those are really good things to practice when you're working on learning a new language.
Cool.
So you can comfortably communicate with people.
Awesome. Those sound like really good strategies.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, good.
Thanks.
All right.